From the Red Sea Max to the Fluval Sea Evo, these are the best Nano Reef tanks you can buy today. Let's dive in. If you're in a hurry, I'll give you my best picks. First, the Red Sea Max. This rimless tank is an all-in-one and includes premium equipment in its kit with top-notch features. Second, the Nuvo Fusion Lagoon. This tank is from a great brand and innovative marine, and it also includes premium equipment in a rimless style. And third, the Fluval Sea Evo. The Fluval Sea Evo model is perfect for those who want a more compact sized tank. This kit is pretty affordable, but best suited for beginner corals. Okay, now that you know the top three, let's go into the details. Starting off with the Red Sea Max, and woo, it is the Rolls Royce of the Nano Reef tank market. If you've got extra cash to invest in a good tank, then you can definitely get the Red Sea Max. It can hold 20 gallons of water and includes the Red Sea 50 LED light that suits most corals in your setup. It also includes European pumps, a microfilter bag for mechanical filtration, an automatic top-off unit, and a protein skimmer to top it all off. It's the best all-in-one for Nano Reef tanks, and you'll really get your money's worth. The Red Sea Max Nano is now in its G2 generation, which includes upgraded lighting, Max Nano skimmer, and even has a Peninsula option. It's a big upgrade from the original first gen. The innovative Marine Fusion 20 Pro holds 20 gallons of water and includes a water stage filtration system that fits perfectly at the back of the tank. It's pretty concealed and it's whisper quiet. This all-in-one also comes with a magnetic glass cleaner, a great tool to have when maintaining the tank, and it keeps the water quality so you don't have to worry about contaminating it. It comes with a mesh lid screen to keep your fish from jumping out and allows you to select the reef light of your choice. It's cheaper than the Red Sea Max Nano, but still pretty expensive compared to the other options on this list. The Fluval Evo Marine Aquarium Kit is a compact saltwater tank that's perfect for small spaces. But it doesn't sacrifice the amount of room the small fish can explore. It boasts a sleek glass design and aluminum casing, and it also includes LED lighting for day and night. The all-in-one aquarium features a simple setup and a quiet, powerful 3-stage filtration system that works around the clock. It includes an easy-to-access feeding door at the top as well. While the light is only set up for easy-to-care-for corals, it works great as long as you stick with a simple setup. Waterbox has revolutionized the industry with its precise and elegant glass nano aquariums. This model, the Nano, offers a straightforward all-in-one setup for saltwater enthusiasts. It's available in sizes ranging from 20 to 25 gallons, and it features a sleek cube design with a 5 to 6 millimeter thick glass and a smooth covered black back. It also includes a built-in water overflow system and 3-stage filtration chambers that operate quietly day and night. The rimless design seamlessly blends into any decor, providing enough space for scaping. It doesn't include a cover, so you're gonna need to make use and you'll have to select your own lights. Though Waterbox offers AI lights as a package if you select one of their Plus editions. Next up is the JBJ Nano Cube 28 Wi-Fi. This is the next in line from the same model, only this time the model includes a Wi-Fi enabled 40-watt LED lighting hood and a removable 3-stage filtration system basket. Since the controls for this light are Wi-Fi enabled and can be adjusted through the app, this makes it easier to manage and can handle most light and medium light demand corals. Though expensive, this is a good all-in-one system and the Wi-Fi capability makes it just so convenient as a tank. The way makers make this a true self-run system. It tends to be priced cheaper than the Red Sea Max and innovative marine systems too. Another noteworthy compact tank is the BioCube. This tank is perfect for nightstands and other small spaces. It measures 15 by 16.75 by 17.5 inches. And although you may need to limit the amount of fish in this tank, it will give your fish a really well-designed home. This saltwater nano tank has a 24-hour timer that imitates day and night and integrated LED lights. A built-in 3-stage filter is also included, and an easy flip lid that covers the aquarium to prevent evaporation. The lights and filter is what helps sell this tank, and moreover, Coral Life is a pretty reliable brand name, and there's a community around this tank. One thing to note is the lights aren't that powerful, so sticking to low light, easy to care for corals are gonna be your best bet when building around it. Next, we have a DIY option from Fiji Cube. It's available from 10 to even 75 gallons. A plumbing kit with an adjustable nozzle and filter stock holder is included in this kit. This kit can level up your standard rim tank, but be sure you have the right tank brand, as this kit is best with Marineland, Tetra, and Aquarium brands. Knowing that you should be able to customize your tank to make it look stellar as the kit turns your tank into a peninsula-style aquarium. This kit creates a reliable filter system, submersible pump, and gives you the look of having a professional level tank without investing a lot into a filtration system. Alright, we jumped straight into the products here, but you might be wondering who the heck is doing these reviews? Let's take a step back so you can learn more about me. I've got a ton of experience, more than 2 decades of experience with helping aquarists, both novices and experienced hobbyists alike, in resolving their aquarium issues. And since there are a ton of products out there, I've personally tested them in real-world scenarios so I'd be able to trim it down to the few best ones in the market. I've worked in local fish stores, installed custom aquariums, and I even go to trade shows like Aquashella to scoop out the latest and greatest. Shoot, I was even technician editor for 2 dummies books sold on Amazon for freshwater and saltwater aquarium. Before you start picking out a tank, there are 5 things you need to know about setting up a Nano Reef aquarium. Number 1, it's cheaper to set up than a traditional saltwater reef aquarium. Many veterans and experts in the hobby recommend starting with large aquariums like 40 to 74 gallons for increased stability due to its larger water volume. In terms of pricing though, not everyone can afford a large tank like that, so a nano tank reef would be a much more affordable option. A good quality kit should include features like a filter, submersible pump, and a solid filtration system. Some models even have LED lights to accommodate corals. For a smaller setup, it's pretty feasible for beginners to try it out, and with proper preparation and care, maintaining a smaller Nano Reef tank can result in a stunning aquarium that can rival any large tank for less. Nano Reefs can be broken down into 2 categories: Nano Reef tanks, which are tanks that are 40 gallons or less, or Pico Reef tanks, which are 5 gallons of water or less. For this video, we only went over Nano Reef tanks. Pico tanks are quite challenging and are only for those who are seasoned hobbyists. The reason why Nano Reef tanks are cheaper is because they're minimalistic setup. The LED lights are affordable and nanos are easy to break down and move. Nano Reef tanks are typically simple in terms of setup and they don't include sumps and instead use return pumps or wave makers for water flow. Protein skimmers are optional, with hang-on-the-back models preferred for small tanks. Many opt for store-bought water for the sake of convenience. Lighting expenses are reduced in nano kits with their inclusive LED lighting, and they're affordable too. It's easy to transport these tanks as they're compact and they fit in most tight spaces. Number 2, it's considered an advanced level aquarium. Nano Reef tanks are for more experienced aquarists, but why? Stability and salinity. Stability with temperature, and stability with nutrients. Nano Reef tanks suffer from instability due to their limited water volume, plus evaporation, so this type of setup needs to be topped off pretty often, but this can be facilitated by auto top-off systems. Temperature changes, especially in warmer climates, pose another challenge, so cooler rooms are preferred. Once tank setups are recommended, avoid canopies so that you can regulate temperature effectively. Controllers like the Inkbert controller help prevent heater failures, a common problem with Nano Reef tanks. Weekly water changes may be required for nutrient stability compared to larger setups where you only need to change water bi-monthly, monthly, or even longer intervals after establishing a nitrogen cycle. In a Nano Reef tank, water changes can be imperative, but because of the small water volume, this becomes a straightforward task. Due to stability concerns, monitoring the tank frequently is advisable, especially if leaving it unattended for more than 2 days, as issues like heater failure can be disastrous. I'd recommend crafting connections and friendships among the hobby community, or even joining hobby clubs to increase your knowledge and support. Number 3, your options for fish are limited in this type of setup. The constraints in terms of space and stability, your fish species options are very limited, so take these into consideration. Your fish species' natural temperament, size of the fish as they reach maturity, how hardy the fish is, and are the fish reef safe. It's best to prioritize peaceful species, especially if it's one of the sole or maybe one of the few inhabitants. Avoid aggressive species like damselfish, which may prey on invertebrates like shrimp. Opt for fish under 3 inches to suit the tank size, and avoid larger species like tanks. Choose some hardy fish to withstand parameter changes, preferably tank bred or labeled as easy to keep. Consider reef-safe fish to prevent coral damage, especially in small setups. Some nano species might include firefish, clown goby, royal gamma, jawfish, Ocellaris clownfish, and chalk bass. Consider light stocking in a nano reef tank due to limited volume, space, and bioload capacity. Next, let's explore corals. Which brings us to number 4, it's more about the corals than the fish. Due to their small size, these tanks face stability challenges in terms of chemistry and temperature changes. So with that, we can say that not all corals are suitable. To resolve this issue, focus on selecting diverse corals to enhance color and movement, compensating for space constraints. Consider the following: hardiness, movement, aggressiveness, and variety. Coral selection might be quite daunting, but there are only a few things to consider to make selecting one a bit easier. Hardiness is paramount, and soft corals are ideal for their ability to tolerate parameter changes. Movement from corals enhances the dynamics to compensate for limited fish presence. Some great options include mushroom corals, zoas, xenia, as long as you're okay with them taking over, and green star polys. You can also try LPS corals like frog spawn, but aggressiveness might be a concern as they get larger. Aggressiveness must be carefully managed due to the confined space in this type of tank. Do consider spacing and compatibility. Lastly, prioritize coral variety to maximize color diversity in the absence of large groups of fish. And number 5, patience is a virtue. Hobbyists are gonna tell you that patience is key when it comes to reef aquariums, and more so in nano reef tanks. Like anything in life, I think this motto is pretty applicable. In a larger setup, it's much more forgiving in terms of rushing things due to the buffer of having larger volumes of water. Conversely, a nano reef tank needs time to cycle correctly. Ask the right people a lot of questions, and don't buy without giving it a lot of thought. A wrong purchase can be consequential real quick in nano reef setups. Now we'll go over the setup for this type of aquarium. I'll focus on coral type tanks as they're pretty easy to explain. These are the following setups I'll be talking about: the bulletproof setup, the LPS setup, and the SPS setup. Number 1, the bulletproof setup. For this, you're going to need corals like soft corals, polyps, zoas, and mushrooms. These are all great choices as they're easy to care for and they're quite hardy. They also provide a ton of movement in the tank. Some examples of corals would be finger leather corals, Kenya trees and Sinularia, mushroom corals like Actinodiscus, Ricordea, and Rhodactis, as well as polyps and zoanthids, or zoas, which you can mix and match freely. Finger leather corals excel at vertical growth, while mushrooms, polyps, and zoas occupy mid and low areas, quickly filling a nano reef. Their weaker stinging ability allows for close placement without significant stress or territorial aggression, and simple LED fixtures suffice for lighting, making these corals a budget-friendly option. Additionally, these corals come in different color options, particularly zoas, offering captivating nano reef displays. Number 2, the LPS setup. An LPS setup can provide more aesthetics to your aquarium. There are a lot of corals to choose from with various colors, and they give a lot of motion in the tank, which is pretty cool. The only drawback is that these corals might be a tad bit aggressive. Spacing is important, especially when it comes to corals like hammer, frog spawns, and torch corals. They're known to kill off other neighboring corals if they're placed close together. Here are a few examples of good corals for an LPS setup: frog spawn, hammer, torch, blastomusa or blasto, Acanthustra lordhowensis or acan lord, micromusa coral or microcoral, candy cane coral, and trumpet coral. For aggressive corals, it's best to have them in limited numbers, especially in smaller nano tanks. You gotta opt for a dedicated setup. Alternatively, an all-Euphyllia setup can mimic an anemone tank appearance. Conversely, candy canes, acans, and microcorals are peaceful, while a more intense lighting setup is needed compared to bulletproof options, any reef-grade LED should suffice for LPS corals. And number 3, the SPS setup. Small polyps stony corals, or SPS corals, are quite popular in the hobby as they're the hardest of the 3 setups. SPS setups are not usually a good idea for nano reef tanks because they're very delicate corals, they're combative, and they require intense lighting. SPS corals have high lighting requirements, which in a small space can elevate temperatures to dangerous levels. While not ideal for nano reef tanks, some hobbyists do still include them. I'll focus on the hardiest SPS corals suitable for nano setups, ones tolerant of subdued lighting conditions. First, Seriatopora hystrix, or bird's nest coral, Poculopora, and Echinophilia aspera, or chalice coral. These are hardier and less light-intensive SPS varieties. Bird's nest and Poculopora provide the branching look of Acropora, while the chalice coral resembles Montipora. Although they're hardier within the SPS care spectrum, you should still be mindful of your water parameters as SPS setups are quite advanced. And there you have it, everything nano reef tank related. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to be updated with our latest videos. Also, check out our website for everything and anything aquarium hobby related. Or better yet, check out the next video to your right. Until the next video, we'll see ya.